All right. It is time once again that we dive into our monthly active player report for New World, talk about the pros, the cons, and what you really should know and what the data and the numbers are telling us. Hello, everyone, and welcome to my New World channel. My name is Brian if you're new around here, but if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back, you sexy beast. There's a lot I want to talk about. Obviously, we've seen a big dip in the numbers, but I'm going to break them down. I'm going to give you guys basically what you need to know about these numbers. We're also going to take a look at the streaming side of things, maybe who you should be following, who are the big New World streamers, what the streaming numbers can also tell us as well. So this should hopefully be a fun monthly report as we dive into and prepare for the July update, which might be this week, most likely next week, hopefully. I'll be sure to keep you guys up to date on all the news and more. So if you haven't subscribed and this is the video that gets you to do it, let me know in the comments so I can welcome you officially to the channel. But beyond that, be sure to hit that like button and let's go ahead and dive right in. Now, last month, the last time we did this report, New World had anywhere from 250,000 to 275,000 monthly active users. Now, generally speaking, everybody kind of focuses on the concurrent number, and that's obviously going to fluctuate throughout the day. Obviously, that concurrency number was much higher at the launch of New World, but I'm not logged into New World right now, so if you only go off of concurrency, you'd understand that that doesn't necessarily equate for all players. So we use a formula called the monthly active users, and we calculate this one of two ways. There are industry standards that you can use to calculate the current monthly active users, and that's taking the peak and multiplying it between 7 and 11. So if we do that, we actually get our high end of the range at 233,000. I'll just actually drag it into the window. So if we look at our at the peak players times by the ultimate 11, in this case, you get 233,000 monthly active users. But I don't think that's as accurate as it could be, because that could obviously vary depending on the player. So I like to use the average of how much hours they play. So we can actually see here in the game itself, 9.3 million hours played throughout the last 30 days. Then what we do is that I use the industry standard right now based off of all the reports. It used to be 7.1 hours per each player per week. That was the average gamer. I always kind of said that MMO players do it longer, so I factored in at 10. But the new COVID reports came out that the monthly active player, the average amount that you would play per week, is around 8.3. So I ended up bumping up the MMO player average per week to 12. That means that on the given week, people who play more, people who play less, overall, it's going to average out to a 12, which gets you 48 hours per month for the game itself, which puts the low end, or that average, right now at 195,000. So this is the first time New World's fallen below the 200,000 monthly active player count. Now, I'm actually not surprised about this. In the last report, I basically broke down the reasons why we'll continue to see those numbers dipping lower and lower, because content is king. If we actually look at the history of the game itself in terms of its numbers, when we look down here, is that the last big update was the March update, which happened at the end of March, and that was the last time we've seen green numbers. Actually, probably the first time we've actually seen any green numbers as it relates to the game, and that has continued to dip down in May and June. Now, the July update will bring some people back. It will bring new players into the game, and that's why concurrency isn't the best value metric, because it's not telling you who's returning and who is coming back, which is one of the key metrics that Amazon's actually looking at: new player and returning player retention. How long are they coming back after 30 days? In fact, actually Twitch is starting to do this, which is interesting. We'll have to see if there's any more integrations and things like that they make with Twitch. They've been doing the drops and more, but you can see here within the last 30 days, the numbers have actually started to slow down once again, which generally wonders, have we hit a floor? I don't think we've yet hit a floor, but I honestly hope that I'd be wrong. I'd love to see the numbers jump up. I do think that we might see the numbers for July jump back up from a peak of this, the 24-hour peak right now is at 18,900. So I'm wondering if we'll start to see the peak jump back into the 20s whenever the July update goes live. That's going to be interesting to see if that does hit those numbers, or if we continue to see numbers dip down. Lots of quality of life coming in July, so I think that's going to make it a little bit easier for people who have been on a break or want to come back. That's actually one of the positive things from a numbers perspective that I see in game chat and in the comments. A lot of people coming back to the game after a period of a break and being surprised by how good it is and how much has changed in the positive sense for the game itself. So all in all, I think there's a lot of hope. I think there's a lot of positivity to be had. I still think that the biggest time we'll start to see numbers going up, and I'm wondering if they'll start going up consistently with what I would call the fall update. If you guys haven't seen the roadmap, new zone, new greatsword, new weapon, a lot of updates coming this fall, and we'll have to, I'm kind of estimating that might be at the end of September, right in line with the 1-year celebration, but we'll ultimately have to wait and see. But numbers are still dipping down, just below. It went from 250,000 as the floor now to 195,000, so a drop of 55,000 players over the course of the end of June and July. This also counts for the double XP extravaganza all going out throughout June and even into July. But if we start to kind of focus in on those periods of time within the last couple of months, like all in all, like you can see here on the weekend, it did boost itself back up, did push its player count into that peak with the double XP, but not to a degree of where you're seeing a massive amount of returns. But we'll ultimately have to wait and see what happens with July, and then what I think August will be a little bit slow, but August will also drive a lot of people to the PTR with some of the changes that they're highlighting. That might be when we're actually testing out the greatsword, if they don't end up delaying that, or putting that into the September build. They are also talking about some big blocking and heavy armor changes coming in August as well. So the PTR could also be pretty populated, but we'll have to wait and see how that plays out. Now, here's where it's going to get interesting in terms of the streaming and content creation. Obviously, we just have real Twitch numbers to go off of here, but let's just kind of take a look at over the last week. A week alone, we're actually seeing bigger numbers in terms of what New World is doing. Almost 94% increase in watch hours, 82% increase in peak viewers. Average viewers is up 94%. The peak channels is just up 6%, and average channels is just up 6%. And the viewers per channel is up 73%. I was actually quite surprised by this in terms of just the numbers alone boosting itself. Now, there's some other ones like you can see here, Facebook and some other things like that, but we don't have that. I'm not really worried about or interested in care about what Facebook is doing in terms of its streaming, but all you can kind of see a couple different stats here. Now, if we jump into kind of looking at the last 30 days, how is New World doing in terms of its content? And overall, what's interesting here is that in the last 30 days, the average viewers was around 2,600. Over the last, or at least yesterday, that has been boosting up. Peak viewers is in this kind of range. 30 days, the 90 days, not any kind of change in terms of this, but the average viewers is going up. So you can kind of see the chart listed over here of the last 7 days by hour. Now, when we start breaking it down by each month in the system, March was obviously the big update with the blunderbuss. That's where we actually saw in hours watched, in percentage of that gain. And just like with Steam charts, we're seeing the numbers continue to dip down more so. And so that we first originally lost 11, 19, and now 23%. Where it's in New World in terms of player retention, it's been higher at the upfront where they have the bigger dips and then it kind of slows down. Content creation right now is having the opposite, trajectory where it slowly dips down and then increases. But obviously this is for June. We will have a better picture of what July looks like, and then we'll have a bigger picture. I think when we start looking at numbers, I'm wondering if we'll start to see green numbers at the end of July, bigger into August, when people are kind of questioning about what content, now that the dungeons have their keys removed, now that these different systems have come in, will they be a positive impact? So you have to be sure to keep it locked here to the channel for that report in the future. Now, let's see here. Let's scale this down. You can see New World's hype clearly was in September and October, and then over the course of the last, let's see here, we take a look at the last couple of months from February, we're still seeing that downward trend in terms of views. But we do have these times in which that heavy activity in terms of peak viewers and more. So this tells me that there is still a big interest in the game, especially when you start looking here at the last couple weeks, is that everything's kind of started to kind of slow down, but then we're starting to see bigger peaks from either people returning streaming or what have you. So you're starting to see bigger peak channels, bigger average view count, and obviously peak viewers as increasing. Now, if we look at the overall like Twitch rank right now, New World is rated at 144th. It was at one point at the 9th rank, but obviously that's when we're starting talking about October. It has since kind of started to stabilize itself out a little bit in terms of like within the top 100 games overall. Now it's in the top 100 to 200, so this will be interesting to see what happens overall. It looks like April and March, that's when we're starting to see kind of that rebound, which continues to reaffirm content is king to me in this case. For the English speaking squad, you can see here Hit Squad, Godfather, Baggins TV, and Danny. If we go ahead and just take a look at the top English streamers available, it looks like you got Danny Baggins, obviously Play New World, Redbird, Turkey Turu, Cat Contai, Roseberry, Ramez, BLDG, Iprunsur, Chun, Yo, Mika, I'm butchering names, The Whelps, Mad, Tammy, Litany, Black Swan, and Plojawaf. Oh man, I should just always do it. Like, watch Brian butcher names overall. So you're starting to see some bigger numbers, some bigger spikes, especially for the top 3 listed right here. In terms of their growth, it looks like Hit Squad, Godfather is really crushing it. Danny TV up 362%. Baggins is up 116%. And then so in terms of peak viewers, that is going up across all 3 of those guys. Average viewers is going up as well across all 3 of these guys, except for I guess 1% one won't really necessarily count that against them in this regard. Guys, that is the monthly active player report for New World for July. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments, questions, your own thoughts in the comments below. I'm looking forward to reading them, and hopefully you guys have a wonderful day. Got more New World content planned for you guys this week, news guides and more as I continue to work and build out hopefully some really good content for you guys. But anyway, thanks for your time. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video, but until then, take care.
Yeah. It's time to chill out on the couch and read some comments. That's right. You know me when it comes to Destiny. I'm off with a clan, and I'm glad you're feeling better. Oh.